What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here for PackersNews.com. Getting late in the afternoon on Friday. Thought I'd jump on here and discuss the signing of Janis by the Cleveland Browns, ushering him out the door, obviously, from Green Bay, and whatever else might be on your mind on a otherwise slow afternoon for Packers News. But as is my wont, I like to come on here and see what's on your minds and say hi to Mike from North Hudson. What's up, buddy? Bob, hello. Thanks for jumping on. So Janis, clearly never became what maybe the Packers and some section of the fandom thought he might at one point. Clearly still a special teams demon. They will certainly miss him on punt coverage. There's no doubt about that. But the Browns, and slowly turning into Green Bay East there with the former Packers Brain Trust of John Dorsey, Elliott Wolf, and Alonzo Highsmith, clearly saw the value in bringing Janis in, and they have done so. Hello from Mississippi, what's up? Janesville, what's up, Christopher? Hi, Keith, how are you? How much did they pay for Janis? Mark, I didn't see any contract numbers yet, which tells me it's probably not a whole lot. Nagler, you be the gunner. Nobody wants to see that, Pedro. Think they make any free agent signings soon or after the draft? Kevin, Gutekunst kept his options open, obviously, when he spoke with reporters this week at the league meetings. I tend to think they'll keep an eye out for cuts around the league. You saw the Raiders released a couple players today, neither of which I think the Packers will be interested in, but those types of transactions will continue, and I think the Packers will pick through. They still have to meet with Delvin Breaux, the former New Orleans Saints cornerback. That meeting still has yet to happen. So they'll be active, they'll be looking, they'll be searching. Remember, they signed Jari Evans, I think it was the day before the start of the draft last year. So, they're always in searching mode, so to speak, and they're always looking at players and bringing them in and making phone calls. So I don't think they're done. I think they'll be active from now until the draft, but I don't think you're going to see a flurry of activity. BJ Rashi for Gunner. Should the Packers draft Minkah Fitzpatrick? I saw my buddy Lance Zierlein had Fitzpatrick falling to the Packers in his latest mock draft. I tell you what, he's a versatile chess piece. He's somebody you can employ a bunch of different places in that defense. I'd be interested to see how they would value him, in the sense that what you would think they really need is a true boundary corner, which is something Fitzpatrick has not been up to this point in his football career. But I do think he would be a defensive asset that they could utilize, and I think Pettin would clearly enjoy having that talent level to work with. But I don't know. I mean, it really depends on the grade that they have on the guy. I think, like I said, I think he would definitely be a nice addition, but I really don't know where they value him. I can't believe they let the GOAT leave. Gabriel asks, Marcus Davenport at 14? I tend to doubt it. I think Davenport is much more of a media creation than an actual legit top 15 prospect. But we'll see. I could be totally wrong. You could go top 10 for all I know. We'll see. Make sure you check the posted article there, PackersNews.com. We've got all the latest for you on Janis leaving to join the Cleveland Browns. Wouldn't mind Packers making an offer to Tate. Doubt that happens. Any chance we trade Tampa out of the first round? That's a bold. That would be a bold move. I doubt it. Marquette King in Green Bay. Fran, I highly doubt it. Justin Vogel had a very strong rookie year. I don't think they're going to make a switch at punter, especially since one of the reasons the Raiders reportedly let him go is because of his high cap number. Now I'm stuck with the Janis and Randall jersey. Man, that's tough. That's really tough. What's going to happen to Devon House now that they signed Tremont? He's still on their radar. They have had initial contact in free agency. I tend to think they'll have the Bro meeting first and maybe look at some other options, but I think they'll keep him on the back burner, and maybe they sign him just before the draft. Kaiser can't be any worse than Hundley. I don't know, Bob. It's always possible. I don't think he will be, but you never know. What in the world are they going to do about cornerback? Well, they've still got the draft to go, and there's still a couple of options out there. You know, Rogers Cromartie is still available. Bro is yet to visit, as we just mentioned. Nice. House won't get signed until after the draft. That's a possibility, Matthew. We'll see. There are two ways of thinking about it. Either teams will, including the Packers, will want to wait and see what they get in the draft, or they will want to sign him just before the draft, kind of like we were just talking about with Jari Evans, you know, to make sure that they're not boxed in and they don't have to reach for need in the draft. There's two ways of looking at that. BJ Raji. I love it. Who are our second, third round corners we should get familiar with? You know, it really depends on who you talk to. I would look at Pro Football Focus's draft stuff. I think they've done a really good job of kind of separating out guys who would fit in certain schemes, and they do a really good job of breaking down the tape in a way that, you know, I know everyone's got a list and everyone's got a draft, and everybody talks about, you know, some of the deep sleepers, what have you. I'm still in the midst of getting through a lot of that stuff, really kind of drilling down on the first round guys, but especially the quarterbacks, just because I get asked about it so much online. But I'll be doing more draft work throughout this month, and I'll definitely be having, you know, a look at corners and edge rushers that'll be in the paper and online in a couple weeks. How's our cap, Keith? They're hovering around $17 million, I believe, under the cap, last I looked. Any news on Quentin Dial or Ahmad Brooks? Nothing yet. Those are guys I think will sit out there and probably get you know, phone calls after the draft, but you never know. Can we get Jamal Reynolds? Oh, you guys, the blast from the past. Hopefully Derwin James falls to Green Bay. It's a possibility. I tend to think if he falls to, you know, 13, they're in trouble, because I think Washington would probably take him, but we'll see. Trade quitters like Clinton Dix. Woo, that's a hot take. I gotta cool off from the hotness of that take. You know, Clinton Dix did put what he put on film last year, and there's no denying that on certain plays he certainly didn't look like he wanted to be there in Week 17. I think overall he had a down year, but I think they'll give him every opportunity to rebound in 2018. Any word on Rodgers' extension? Nothing. I know James Jones talked to the big lead about it, and it sure sounds like James Jones has got the inside track of knowing when it's going to happen. You know, it sounds pretty clear that if and when it gets done, Rodgers is going to text James Jones, and James Jones is going to be the one to break the news. So make sure you're following James Jones. Gruden cut punter King. This is a good signing for the Packers. They have a punter. Justin Vogel was really good last year. They don't need a guy who's going to cost a bit more and, you know, who's just a name. I know he's exciting, he dances, and people think he's really fun, and he is. He's great. But they have a really good player at punter. They don't need a punter. Let's see, though. What do you see of Rollins? Robert, you know, I'm of two minds when it comes to Quentin Rollins. On the one hand, what McCarthy said this week is really encouraging, in the sense that he sure sounds like he's ahead of schedule in his rehab from the Achilles injury. On the other hand, he did not look very good prior to the injury, especially in man situations. I mean, he was okay in zone, but man, when he's locked up with guys, he just did not look pretty, especially on the inside with some of the quicker slot guys. So now you fast forward, and obviously you're going to bring him back and you're going to let him compete, but I don't think he can hack it inside. And are you going to run him outside opposite Kevin King? Or, you know, Tramon Williams? Is he going to take Tramon's spot? I don't think so. I think Tramon had a much better year last year. He's playing at a much higher level. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to compete for a job. I don't doubt that, but I can't imagine that you're going to, you know, see much of him. All right. How soon before the Packers can trade for Janis? That's brilliant. All right, everybody. I'm going to take one or two more. I don't think Gruden will last long as a head coach. He's got 10 years and $100 million. I don't know, man. Could be around for a while. Sign Adrian Peterson for the league minimum. I don't see it happening in Green Bay. What are your thoughts on trading up in the draft? I mean, it all depends on what you have grade-wise on the prospect you're trading up for. And if you think it's a once-in-a-lifetime guy, then yeah, it makes sense. But, man, you got to have some real, conviction. And, it's impossible to say how Gutekunst feels about any of these guys. So, generally, I'm not a big fan of it. But if you land a generational talent, go get your guy. All right, everybody. I'm gonna jump. I hope you all have a great Friday night and a weekend. Sorry if I couldn't get to your question. I'll be back if there is any breaking news over the weekend. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Make sure you're checking PackersNews.com for all the latest. And I'll talk to you soon.